Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we're going to be having a bit of fun with Dragon Man. So Dragon Man is a champion that I was extremely interested upon its release time. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to pull a 5 or 6 star. I only have a 3 or 4 star, and I actually never really got to play with him myself and kind of like dive deeper. Now, this definitely isn't going to be like a full-on character breakdown or guide video. It's going to be me taking 3-star Dragon Man through Uncollected event quest. So for a 3-star to be able to step in Uncollected, that is already kind of like relatively decent. It's definitely not a bad situation. It is second quest with Medusa boss, and on my way there I will have chance to kind of like showcase and test him out against several encounters. So in this fight in particular, I get a chance to check out his slow on level 1, which is also quite cool. I do like it. It's not like the best slow in the game, the most dominant or sustainable or easy applicable, but it's definitely an added bonus that can be substantially helpful. And then obviously the corner damage, but very quickly playing Dragon Man, I actually realized a massive problem with Dragon Man, and that is in this case actually much more to do with animations and kind of like the size of him. And the biggest problem for me to get used to using Dragon Man definitely was when you are cornering opponent, which you're supposed to do. You can't really see what opponents are doing after like they are knocked down when you go in the block, especially against the smaller characters, because your wings are in the way. And that is quite a big deal for a regular champion, and kind of especially big deal I think for a Dragon Man, because he has such a heavy emphasis on keeping the opponent in the corner and not kind of like letting them dash out of it. And the problem there is you don't really see what they're doing, whether they're holding block, whether they're going for heavy attack, whether they're starting a special attack animation. And it's not clear and it's confusing, and that alone would kind of be enough to throw me off my game, throw me off my balance, and kind of like dissuade me from using Dragon Man in kind of like more serious fights. For instance, to take in Dragon Man for Alliance War Attack or Alliance Quest, I definitely wouldn't feel comfortable. So I don't know if there's anything Kabam can do about it. I certainly hope they do something, because well, I don't know, maybe after some period of adjustment, you can figure out a way around it, or perhaps some people who have more experience with Dragon Man can advise me on that. But yeah, if there's nothing to be done and if you cannot legitimately see what opponent is doing in the corner, then unfortunately that heavily disadvantages the champion, and for me personally would kind of disqualify it from important meta, if you will. But everything else about Dragon Man, though, I do like a lot. I do like his animations, I do like his power gain, level 3, how he feels to play, how fun he is. The level 2 is very cool, the cornered mechanic, and pretty much everything about it I do like. It's just that, yeah, his big wings is the issue. He needs to go to get his wings clipped, I suppose. Here you can see that against Phoenix I'm going for level 2 and 26 hits in. She's already kind of like halfway down. Obviously I do have that benefit against Phoenix that she's gaining fury buffs, and I gain attack increase basically on opponents' buffs and whilst they are cornered, so that definitely helped this fight finish out quite a bit quicker. Only 39 hits to deal with this one, so this one went quite quickly. I didn't even have a need to drop a level 3, even though that is definitely going to be kind of like most common Dragon Man rotation when you go for level 3, double level 2s and a heavy attack. But obviously if the fight will not be too long, then you can just get by dropping a level 2 and then if needed another level 2, and a heavy attack. Like here against Wolverine, I don't think I go for a level 3 either in this fight, and mainly because he has those regen buffs active. So here we can see that level 2 is already starting to do some decent amount of damage, and like if we check out the PIs and everything like that, we can see that opponents typically are about 3 times as high in PI, if not more. So that would, for example, illustrate I don't know, 10k opponent going up against 30k opponents. So I think that's a relatively kind of like average power difference we typically get to experience in kind of like more challenging content. Maybe not quite the most hardcore content, but still. And Dragonman certainly finishing the fights quite quickly. He's enjoyable to play. I do look forward to when I get a chance to acquire a 5-star and bring in the 5-star in some more serious quests, more serious content. I know Uncollected hardly is the metric for one's ability or something these days, especially with Cavalier difficulty being released now. Uncollected has taken kind of like a huge hit in how relevant it is in community, period. It's kind of like the new master mode, if you will, for most players. But yeah, Mojo certainly, however, is not a great matchup for Dragonman. We're going to see that in a moment. Because, whenever I have buffs expiring, if he has his Death Field active, I'm obviously going to get my degen on me. So I do consciously kind of try to play around that. I do know that I'm going to have that Fury expire in a moment. So I'm going to try my hardest not to have that Mojo's Death Field active at the time the Fury would expire, which is also going to lead to a relatively kind of like interesting workaround. So he's going to activate his special attack in a second. No, wait, I think I'm going to prevent that special attack. Yes, now we have the dash backwards prompt, and I'm kind of like determined not to dash backwards here. So I use my special attack to kind of intercept him. He's not quite down here. He used his level 2, but I use a Nick Fury synergy to wait the last 2 hits of that level 2 and not dash backwards. So I don't know. I felt quite like cheeky using that Nick Fury synergy on purpose, kind of like letting the level 2 beams hit me and having it trigger and having it evade instead of having to take a block damage or dashing backwards to trigger that prompt. And now we're going to be against Omega Red. Now he's not really going to behave exactly how I would like him to, because we know that sometimes Omega just refuses to throw that level 1 and you don't really want to push him to level 2. Even in this case, Dragonman is robot champion, so the spores are building slower. However, you still take damage per every spore, and with such a big power difference, I just didn't really want to let him drop that level 2, which is also where Dragonman is kind of like most aggressive and most confident at, because if opponent is in the corner and they're past 2 bars of power, they have significantly reduced power rate, and you can just seemingly go on punching them for ages compared to any other normal champion. And I do like mechanics like that. I do like mechanics that kind of let you overextend and at the same time protect you from opponent reaching 3 bars of power, and it just lets you be like, yes, a tiny bit more aggressive, a tiny bit more kind of like reckless. And especially with Dragonman, because it kind of like synergizes extremely well with his damage boost from Korn. And so there are certainly a lot of things I do like about Dragonman. However, still, and I honestly can't really believe more people didn't really talk about this issue with Dragonman, is the cornered and the fact that you hide opponents' animations, and it's such a detrimental thing. It can absolutely kind of like how a perfect fight goes sideways just because you didn't notice when opponents start charging heavy attack or whether they're launching a special attack or something. So that automatically, for me personally, would be kind of like a huge red flag. I would never want, for instance, have a fight in Alliance War under such conditions where you're effectively blind to opponents' animations. And so that unfortunately makes me look at this guy quite bit more skeptical. I do like him still, everything about him, except that one thing. Now, I did take him in here against Medusa, however, my health was quite low, and I will make a mistake quite early on in the fight. Well, I'm not really gonna get clapped, I'm just gonna get careless and accidentally block few too many hits, and with Oscillate and Dragon Man being a 3-star against 20k Medusa, the block damage is going to get me. So this isn't definitely not going to be like a perfect fight or anything like that. I'm going to play quite sloppily here, and we can see, yeah, that I am done and dusted. And in order just to finish that quest out, because why not, I brought in Scarlet Witch, because hey, whenever you get a chance to flex out the Scarlet Witch, you should use it. Also, another kind of like quick thing, since I do know that Scarlet Witch now has been released as a 5-star, and for those who are fortunate enough to have her as a 5-star, I would suggest trying out pretty much the same thing we used with Magic, where you drop your heavy attacks and then chain your special attack into your heavy attacks, because that lets you land a lot of hits, give you potentially many different ability triggers, and chain your special attack from get-go. So if you practice, I'm sure you can get it done consistently and constantly, and it's just an alternative and, in my opinion, more aggressive way how to play Scarlet Witch, with ability to crit more frequently in shorter amount of time, because heavy attack is like what, it's 4 or 5 hits, and it gives opponent less power than a full combo would. But anyways, that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit that like, sub. See ya.